The full timbre of your voice comes through.
It's all there.
Yeah. It's good shit. Hello and welcome to the Hooniverse podcast, episode 353. I'm your host, Jeff Glucker. This is my man, Ron Baugh. What's up, Ron? Of course you froze. Of course it froze right when I said do that. This is the wonders of the... Yep, there you go. I just introduced you. I literally said, this is my man, Ron Baugh. What's up, Ron? And it was like... Mother.
I don't know why it always does that. Maybe we should remember this one time and wait for like 10 seconds. Let it buffer.
I did last time, and then it didn't do it. So fuck all this. I hate podcasting. I hate doing distant podcasting. That's why I stopped doing this shit. I was talking to a friend the other day, a mutual friend. I was like, yeah, I got Ron as my co-host. He's like, oh, that's awesome. It's funny. Ron and I were going to be on a podcast together, and now we're on like 10 different podcasts each. It was Johnny.
So we talked about it.
Now Johnny wants to
kind of badgered him about it, and then he was like, oh, I'm doing a podcast. And I was like, awesome. Cool. And that's when I hit you up, and I was like, yo, man, you need to bring your shit back. Let's do this.
Well, Johnny wants to come on this one as a guest.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I said, absolutely. So we'll do that. We'll do it soon. It's probably not going to happen until after Christmas, but and we're going to treat this as the Christmas episode since I am flying out.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus,
Tuesday.
Special.
Yeah, all of it. What else is there? Name some other shit.
I don't know anything else in December.
I saw someone post about some Iranian holiday today that normally means something and it has deeper meaning based on what's happening in the world.
Certainly.
Started with an S, and I wish I knew what it was called. Now I feel like an asshole. I shouldn't have even brought it up. But
you have the ability to cut that out, but I know you won't.
I'm not going to because I hate editing. As if you've seen any of my car reviews, I clearly don't like to edit. So here we go. What's happening? What's happening here?
Not much, man. Just winding down this year. I don't know what. Honestly, I don't even know what our holiday schedule is. I don't know if we have Friday off or Monday off. I think we have the next 2 Mondays off or something like that. But
you're not working.
I'm not.
You ain't doing shit.
I stayed home today. I had a meeting today, and I could have gone in office. I was planning to, but I had to have an exterminator come and spray or treat for termites.
Oh,
sucks. So I was just like I don't. At this point, it's like I don't even need to announce when I'm not going to be in office. It's more like, hey, I'm going to be in today, like tomorrow. Like, is it anything cool going on?
Let me know next time you go in, because I could pop up and we could do lunch, because your office isn't far from where I live. Sure,
absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Or we say skip lunch, find a brewery, and then you take the rest of the day off.
Play hooky and go to K1 again.
We'll go to K1. Yeah, that's actually a real
K1.
spot. We should do that like on Friday.
It's literally right around the corner from my office.
Yeah, maybe we should go to K1 on Friday. That might be actually a really good idea. I just got to find some time to shoot some video of the wonderful vehicle that's in my driveway right now.
You still got the Lightning?
The Ford F-150 Lightning.
Wonderful, you call it?
I got to tell you, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's 100% still an F-150. Very familiar. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's nothing weird about it. There's no like goofy EV shit on the inside. There's just the information you need to know, and the rest of it is just the same experience that you would have in an F-150.
Smoother and torquier.
Way more power. I think it's 0 to 60. It gets there like 1 full second quicker than the last gen supercharged Lightning or something like that. It's like 4 flat.
No shit.
I'm driving a Lariat. They're all dual motor. It's the battery. The battery is what determines the power.
Oh, really?
So there's a standard pack or the extended range. There's a press truck, so it has extended range. And if you're buying one, you should get that anyway, even though it is a $10,000 hit.
No shit.
But yeah, you get more range and more power. So I mean, that's the problem is they keep jumping the price up.
Yeah, where are we at now?
Like this one, as tested, is 76.
Yeah. I mean, compared to a Rivian, you're still
still
under that, and you have probably, if not prettier truck, you have a much more usable truck, I would imagine.
Yeah, right. I think the Rivian is a little bit more luxurious inside,
sure.
Whereas the F-150, not that an F-150, there's some F-150s that are nice as shit inside, but this one actually has cloth seats and they're crazy comfortable.
Interesting. Is it a new material
for
the Lightning or for the F-150?
I don't know. I don't know if you can get these seats in the F-150. I don't know if it's like a Lightning special thing, but these seats are fucking
They're not the
awesome.
Recaros that are in the Raptor? Just in like
different No, not at all. Nope. Like just relaxed, but like just a really comfortable material.
I have a lot of questions about this truck.
And you should. It's either 550 or 580 horse, and it's 775 torque. Both of them, I know. Both of them make the same torque regardless of battery. You just get more horsepower with the extended range. And I think on a full charge, I'm seeing the meter says like 260, which is fine for me. I'm happy with that. I know people are like, it needs to be at 300, like whatever. And I know if you're towing, it's going to dip. I know if it's cold, it's going to dip. I understand how EVs work. I'm telling you right here in California, for me, that truck is excellent. I don't need a pickup truck. I would never buy a truck just to have a truck.
But it's super convenient when you have it. There's a lot of shit that you cram in to the time that you have a pickup, right?
Yeah. Right. Though I have friends who aren't car people who are like, hey, I think I'm going to go to like a full size truck next. And my question is why? It's harder to park. It uses more gas. It doesn't. So like if you don't need a truck, I'm not saying don't get a truck because trucks are cool in their own way, but it's always weird to me when people are like, oh, I got to get a truck. My next question is why? Why do you need a truck? Because you could just buy something else and get a similar experience, and it'll have just get an SUV if you want. If you want to sit up higher, so I don't know. But this Lightning is fucking dope. It's dope. I'm really impressed.
My first question is, because it's kind of a retrofit EV, it wasn't originally designed as an EV like a Rivian or a Tesla. What is it like getting in and starting? Like,
keys in the pocket, it recognizes when you get in, and then you just hit the button to fully bring it online. And then the nice thing is this is coil sprung in the rear, unlike the regular F-150. So it's a nicer ride.
Is it independent rear?
Yeah,
But the F-150 is not, right? F-150 is solid axle.
No.
Leaf springs.
F-150 is still like leaf, traditional truck. The only one of the big three that gets that, well, the Tundra switched for the new one. But of the other trucks, the Chevy, the Ram is the other one that gets it. But
IRS, really?
I think the ride's Ram has.
I didn't remember that. I was behind a Lightning the other day, and that's when I noticed. I was like, oh fuck, that's interesting. I thought it was a Lightning only thing, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. So Rams are coil sprung independent rear. Tundras have switched, I believe, and then the only holdouts are like the regular gas F-150s and the hybrids, and GM then truck. The Silverado, the GM shit. So I think it rides really nice even without anything in the back. I have the big 4-door cabin.
Is it only available crew cab or whatever they call it?
I think so. I think it's only crew cab. It would be really like a sweet throwback if they offered a single cab, but I'm sure the take rate on single cabs, it's rare to find any new truck as a single cab. I saw like a month or two ago, I saw maybe a Ram or something as a single cab. I was like, oh shit. Like it caught my eye. It was so
I don't know if they're special order, but I mean, I do see, at least here in California and Texas, I see a lot of single cab, the GM trucks. They're usually like slammed on, 24s, 26s or like drag slicks, like drag pack setups and stuff. So I don't know if it's special order, but like I noticed those trucks because it's like you went out of your way to find that. Like you didn't just go down to the dealer lot and like say, oh, I'll take this one. I imagine like most of these trucks are like high trim levels, like with all the body cladding and like all that cool shit and like the nice interiors and stuff. But you don't just see those like for sale on lots.
Nope. It would be cool to see a single cab Lightning. There will never be one, but
guarantee you somebody will buy
I love it.
Some dealer or some, Roush or somebody like
this will
that
be a
will
lot
do.
tougher though. This is a lot tougher than like. There's a dealer in Georgia who reached back out because a couple years ago they turned the latest gen F-150
Right.
into a Lightning.
Through
They did an homage. They reached out to us.
Coyote with a 10-speed. Yeah.
Yep. And they reached out to us because one of our news guys was in the area and he did a burnout video that went viral. So they've reached back out because they have a few more in stock. I just haven't written about it yet. But it's not the same because you can't just like throw this powertrain in another F-150. But I would love to see someone try. But yeah, so far I'm not going to take it off road because it's a Lariat with like regular ass road tires. I didn't do enough research yet because I haven't shot my review yet. I'm really, really curious if they offer an FX4 package for the Lightning, because it would be fun to take it in the dirt, but I'm not taking it in the dirt with the tires that this one has. It's like really not like very conservative tires.
They look like
probably
like high mileage, like high efficiency, like
they're high efficiency. Yeah, they look like Prius tires.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, so I'm not touching it in the dirt. I thought about it, like just go slide it around a little bit because there's no grip on them, but I'm like, I don't want to do this. I mean, I do, but I don't. But if you grab it, if you like mat it coming out of a corner, like from a stoplight or something like that, you're chirping tires as it's finding the grip. So it's fun. Because I had to pass a dude in a regular F-150 who was like crawling around a corner as we turned into a 3-wide. And I was like, he took the middle lane. I was like, whoop. And as I went by him, it was like, I was like, I didn't mean to I wanted to go by you quickly. I didn't want to do it like a total asshole tripping tire, but you know what? Fuck it. That's what you get. The future just blew past you, old man. So yeah, I am a huge fan. So far, I really like it.
It's that and the Rivian were like the two EVs that I was most excited about. So I'm glad that they got it right. They didn't fuck it up, and it's as usable and fun as I anticipated.
Yeah, it is. I'm really it's a truck that happens to be electric.
Again, I'm probably not in the market for one, but it's just nice to know that they did a good job.
I think your boy Chuck mentioned that he's trying to get one, so I hope he does. Because Chuck, if you're listening,
yeah, he went and test drove a bunch of. I think the AMG EVs a week or two ago. He's a big AMG guy, and I don't know if that's I think he just got an E53 AMG coupe.
Damn, Leatherworks paying well.
That's his thing, and like hopefully.
Okay, I thought that was his main thing. All right.
Well, I mean, he's got another job. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. But anyway, yeah, that'd be cool if somebody I knew got one, because then I could, even though he's in Atlanta, I could still, experience it.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, Chuck, if you're listening and you're still interested in the Lightning, stamp of approval, 100%. But pow. Now, speaking of other vehicles, non-electric vehicles, you see what's behind me? My baby is back. Yeah, Jag's back.
Is that
Jag's back.
Jaguar?
Now, sadly,
Jaguar?
No, it's nothing bad. The shop it was at, which was a teaching school, their semester's over. So I needed to get the car out of there. It was like, please get your car or like we tow it to an impound. I was like, oh, okay. It's like that then. So Rick Radcliffe, friend of the podcast, it's like, dude, I'll tow it to my house from the school and then I'll come get you, which was huge of him because he lives in Apple Valley, which is 85 miles from here. And he picked me up in his Model 3. He has a Model 3. And I was like, all right, here we go. And it was like the perfect vehicle for two dudes to roll out in like prime traffic time back into inland California. We made short work of it.
Yeah.
Grabbed some dinner, picked up the car. We had to jump start it because it was sitting for a minute. And then I also had like all of a sudden the brake pedal was on the floor. I was like, wow, this isn't feel good. I have an 85-mile drive at night ahead of me. We just popped into an O'Reilly's and the brake fluid reservoir was low. So I just filled it up and it was fine. But that signals that there's a caliper leaking somewhere. But
fortunate.
Otherwise it's fine. But the good news from it being where it was is there was people who are actual smog refs. looked at the car, and said, "All the equipment's here. This is legit. That sticker's legit."
Right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you just got to clean up.
Sick.
There's an evap leak.
Hell yeah.
And the emissions out the tailpipe are a little dirty, but depending on the some smog places are like, could it be in acceptable levels? But if you fix the evap leak, you're probably okay. Like, it should be fine. Yeah. So
yeah, nice, dude. That's got to be.
It is. I'm just worried about how much it's going to cost to fix the evap issue, just because, like, I don't think the parts are expensive. I think just getting to the parts that need to be replaced are a pain in the ass in this car. So we'll see. We'll see. But this should technically be a 100% smog legal in California V8 swap car. Yeah. So we're gonna do that.
Nice.
And then you better let me know if you are legit interested in it, because otherwise the shit is going on the auction sites. Okay. You could do it offline, but
yeah, let's talk about
it. This could be yours tomorrow. I could.
Yes.
My friend, do you want the keys to a fine? My friend, do you want the keys to a Jaguar? It's his. They ripped out the aftermarket alarm, which is great. So it doesn't have to deal with that shit anymore.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's all good. All good. Happy the Jag's back, even though it sits for some time, then I drive it, then it sits, then I drive it. That's life. Montero's going in for some work soon because I'm going to do clutch and brakes, but I was talking to our friend Rick. He's like, dude, your symptoms sound like it's not your clutch. It sounds like you just need to replace your slave cylinder. I was like, oh. And he's like, and that's like a 20-minute job versus like a 6-hour job. And I was like, I'm like, but I already have a free new clutch, and I understand I'll be paying for the labor to have it installed. However, I'm kind of like weighing, like, if I could save some money, that'd be nice. So we'll see on that.
Of course.
Otherwise, everything, in the fleet is okay at the moment. Everything's okay at the moment. How's your shit doing?
Good. I mean, I haven't paid any attention to anything other than my Audi. It's overdue for service now. I still got to get that in for service. But I've just been enjoying driving. I went to Vegas over the weekend. Another just like set it the cruise control for 95, take my shoes off, cross my legs, just fucking try not to fall asleep and let the car do all the work.
When's the last time you put a wrench to anything non-Audi? Months? Oh.
Right before I sold the Tahoe, so August. And like I told the guys in the garage in the shitbox speakeasy, I was just like, don't block my cars in. They're moving in December. The K10 and the Mustang are going to move. And I haven't made any moves, any action to like do the things that I need to do to either of those. And they're just
when was the last time you've been to the garage?
Like laughing at me every time they go over there.
When was the last time you were in the garage?
This shit ain't never moving. Huh? When
we had beers there.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Why did I go there? I went there to go pick up some tools. I helped a buddy try and jumpstart. He's got a fleet of buses, like shuttle buses and party buses. And he had to move them from one location to another a couple weeks ago, and I went and picked up some tools over there. And it's crazy how empty it is now because Vin sold all his shit. He's bought a couple more cars, but they're like daily, so they don't need to sit in storage. Sam sold his Rivian. That was there for a while. I got rid of the Targa. I delivered that. We had a couple other friends' Porsches.
Is your friend who
those are gone now.
With the Targa, is he happy?
It's pretty empty.
Okay, good.
Yeah. There's a bunch of little shit, but the one thing that the three things that are like egregious, if you could call them that, like we did these custom mirrors. They're called Sebring mirrors, and they're just like tiny racing mirrors. And until they were on the car, we didn't realize how little adjustability they had, and also how small the glass is. So it's like, like they're like Coke can size, like in diameter, basically. So like the passenger one is completely worthless because you can't get it angled to give you any sort of view of the road. The driver's side, like you can get it, adjusted to view. I mean, when I was test driving the car, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I knew like I wouldn't be satisfied with those if it was my car. it's like he drives with the top off most of the time, and like it's got rear view. But the one problem with the rear view is that I mounted it too high. So if you fold down the sun visors, you can't see out of the rear view mirror. They perfectly cover it. So I've got to move that. I've got to find him different set of mirrors, and then there's like a ton of wind noise with the target top on and the windows up. Yeah, and well, we replaced all the seals, right? And like I took it back to the upholstery shop, and I was just like, "Fuck, man! Like I don't know what to do. Like these are all new Porsche OE seals." A listener actually of this podcast that I'm friends with on Instagram, Pat Curtains, he messaged me. Like I saw he works at a restoration shop, and I saw that he was working on a Porsche, and he was talking about the seals. And I was like, yo, dude, I was just like, I need help figuring this shit out. Like, I know this isn't right, but it's got all new stuff. Like the top's been rebuilt, like all the mechanisms gone through, like it's all new. And he was like, oh yeah, I just read about this. And he was like, there's this dude, the Target Man, like Dan the Target Man or whatever his name is. And like, he was like, he sent me a link to this guy's website, and this guy basically states that even though the front windshield header seal is that Porsche sells as new, it's the same part number for like the 911, like the whatever 70 something through 89. It's the same part number for that body style as the 964. But it's the same part number, but it's actually a different part. It's the 964 part number, which is thicker, so it doesn't allow the top to sit properly on the earlier cars. Like it doesn't sit all the way down. Like you could tell that the seal was being folded over and like squished. So basically, I just ordered a new seal from him, and I got to go swap that out, and that should correct that. I called him. I was like, oh, I hear you're the Target Man. He was like, yep. And I was like, I just went through restoration, 84 Targa, everything's new. And he was like, I hear that your seal that you sell will correct that. He was like, yep. He was like, just fucking Venmo me or PayPal me $220. I'll get it out tomorrow. Sure enough, he did. I got it 2 days later, so I just got to go install that. And then the only other issue with the car is that the high beams don't work. We did a deck collection, like nice, new HIDs, and they look great. They work great, but for some reason, I don't know if it's a switch, I don't know if it's a wiring, but the high beams don't come on. So I've ordered a replacement switch, stalker, turn signal stalk and high beam switch, and as soon as that comes in, hopefully that's the problem. If it's not, then I'm gonna have to take it like an electrician and figure that shit out.
All right.
Everything else works. Yeah. Everything else works, but it's just the high beam. I don't know, the body shop installed the headlights. They may not have wired it properly. They hired somebody to come in and it's at this point, it's like, I don't want to take it back to them. They're in Pasadena. I was just like, I'll just find somebody local to figure it out. It's like, none of these are big deals, but it's like, he lives like on a windy road in San Diego with no street lights. So I get it. Like it's important to have your high beams, like, no matter what, like you want your high beams, but it's kind of crucial for him. So, man, he's been driving the car. Everything seems good. I'm stoked. Like I think it relieved a lot of stress and pressure for both of us. Just him having the car and seeing it complete. Like I think he thought like he was going to get back a basket case, and like I was like holding out on him, and like this was wrong and this was wrong, and like oh fuck, I don't want to no, it wasn't that. It was just like little shit that I needed to address. And there's still a couple more things, but it's really not a big deal. I mean, just like some of the hardware that the upholstery shop used was incorrect, and I like had to swap out some of that stuff just because like panels were loose, and it's just like they were in a rush, and I knew they were, and like it was really unfortunate because I feel like we overpaid and didn't get what
is it the
what
shop
I wanted as
that
the
we
final
talked
product
about using for other things?
But
okay. No. That's why I said it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to call them out, but it's just the problem. The problem is that the shop literally only has room for one car, maybe two cars if they're smaller. And they are slammed, so it's like if you drop off parts, they're incredible, and they're on time. But the fact that when I took him the car, it didn't have any glass, so he couldn't leave it outside, and he had another customer drop off a car that couldn't sit outside either. So it was just like, I'm done. And I was like, well, are you? And he was just like, well, just, you can take it, put the glass in it, have the body shop finish, and then you can bring it back and I can tidy up the loose ends and stuff. And I was just like, dude, like, I don't have patience, time, gas money for that. So I just did it all myself, and like, you know, it was an amalgam of different era of parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like it was a restoration of some original parts. I had some new parts, and then I had slightly almost new parts out of another car, like takeout seats and a brand new leather wrap dash and stuff. So it was like the way he delivered the car to me, like none of that shit matched. Like it was just different textures. It was all black, but it's just different textures, and it just looked kind of goofy, right? So it was like I had to go and like just dress everything and like clean up little shit. Still, it's just like I don't mind doing it because I'm capable.
That's good to
but
know,
like
because I may have reached out to them about some other stuff, and they replied, they're like, "I'm so sorry. I just had the most stressful week of my life, and I wonder if it was because of your car or hoonigan shit, or because I know they were working on like they also.
I mean, that was so many months ago.
Dance work shit, and so
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
he does good work.
The go-to for a lot of our friends in the industry, and he does a good job. But like I said, it was circumstantial that made him like basically just have to be done with the car one day.
Interesting. Trying to think what else is going on. I mean, not much.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody listening, this is a light week this week. So I'm actually going to jump over to IG questions now because we got a few of them. We got more than.
Start with one that only you can answer if you can, because I'm going to go get a refill real quick.
Let's see. All right, let's pull up the officials. Where are my questions? Okay. Come on, go. Okay, there we go. Let me find one that only I can answer. This is okay. Canadian MR2 V6 asks, on a scale of great to great, how great was the GR Corolla? Mega fucking great. My video just went out today. The audio sucks in it. I apologize to anybody, but something failed on me, and I'm not going to not put out the video. But the GR Corolla on a scale of great to great is mega fucking great.
I still just want to hear that thing. I can't imagine what a 3-cylinder
McDonald Insta. Any word on those Silverado E's being delivered? So the deal with those is GM is building the Hummer SUV, the Silverado, the Sierra. They're all going to build it out of the same factory. So they're retooling. They underestimated how long it took to build the Hummers. So they are retooling to have them built, but it should start soon. I think they're working on bringing another plant online, but it was a much bigger, and I think they were just absolutely shocked at how many people were like, "Oh, I want a big fucking dumb Hummer." Right. I agree with you, and it's funny when I had the one at Autopia. I was talking to, do you know Shaheen from Rivian? He's a car guy in California too, but he works for Rivian, and we were talking about it. I'm like, dude, I haven't seen any on the road. He's like, you don't live in Huntington anymore? I was like, dude, I haven't lived in Huntington for years. He's like, there's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, there's 5. Right, because then I was like,
we talked about this, right?
I was in Huntington, I saw it. So they're all in Huntington Beach. They're probably all in like parts of Florida, parts of Texas.
Right.
Yeah. Canadian MR2 V6. The Blazer looks a lot like the Camaro. Should it become what the Mach-E is for Ford? You're not far off, man, because I think the Blazer EV actually looks way better than the gas one. And you should look at it because I think it looks better than the gas Blazer, because the gas Blazer is a joke.
I'm gonna.
So why not just lean into actually making it look cooler? I think you're not wrong. I think that could be something there.
Didn't GM basically say that they're gonna badge engineer like a series of cars? Like there's
theoretically, yes,
Corvette is going to become its own brand. I think Escalade is going to become its own brand and have different models like under those.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be. Like they say that. I don't think it'll be to that level where like Ram literally is. Like that's the trucks. It's not a. I don't think it'll be to that level, but yes. Camaro's going away, so who the fuck
was
knows?
Camaro included in that? That's where I was
nobody wants to buy a Camaro. Sorry, Camaro fanboys. Gotcha. Fantastic chassis.
Damn.
Shit car. Well, it's not. It's actually not a shit car. It's not a shit car. I take that back.
I don't want to be seen in one.
It's
not a shit
just
car.
no one's buying it.
It's definitely not a shit
That's
car.
what it is. Can't see shit on it. Type R Kelly, do you guys have any dash cam recommendations? I think we do. Next base. They're not paying us, by the way. They gave us the free dash cams, and that was it. That was the end of the relationship. And then let's see. Right. All right. Oh, this next question. Canadian MR2 V6 with the question. Thoughts on Corvette as a brand with the sedan and SUV seems to work fine with others. The Corvette hardcore will revolt. But if you look at it,
of course,
like what Porsche does, I mean, you could pull some shit off. So whatever. I'm not as tied to this shit as I used to be. Sure. Like, I don't care that the Mach-E has Mustang styling. It doesn't bother me. I get why people get upset. But at the same time, I think it allows for some potentially interesting and cool vehicles. And I think a Corvette sub-brand with like some other shit could be interesting. At the very least, it'll be interesting.
Sure. I think, honestly, the way I see it is that you can charge more for a Corvette than you can a Chevrolet. So it's like, if you're going to build a performance SUV, if GM is going to do it, you do it as a Corvette. And now that you've got, a real world beater in the Z06 and like a legit supercar, like affordable supercar in the Corvette, like now people that, I mean, the least expensive Ferrari is still probably twice the cost of a Z06 even, MSRP. But there are people that are seeing that as a bargain and saying, okay, that is actually an option. Like it's a legit supercar. The build quality is there. The performance is there. So now it's part of the conversation, but it's a fraction of the price. So if you have a Corvette SUV, whether it's an EV or not, if you have a Corvette SUV that's like, sportily styled like a Urus or a Purosangue or whatever, like, now you can sell $150,000, $175,000 performance SUV that there would be no brand, there'd be no place in GM's lineup to sell that.
I'm just saying that because I don't know. I just thought it was
heard it.
Like Purosangue, but I like Purosangue way better.
It could be.
know. I'm not saying.
So
I don't know either, and I like your way better than my way.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Purosangue.
Somebody will correct me, I'm sure.
Whatever. It's I'm still watching season 2 of White.
I'm not a linguistics expert, so
it's pretty great.
I don't even
know
what that is. I hear everybody talking about it. I have no idea what it is, where it is.
Season 1 is in Hawaii. Season 2 is in Italy.
Where is it?
Oh, HBO.
What network or what streaming platform? Oh, okay.
Like I'm Googling where the actual resorts are. I'm like, I'm going to 4 seasons in San Domenico. Kev C 2002, which I still haven't given you the liquor that he brought for you, so we should probably like.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Which I don't deserve because I fucking
K1 on Friday. Call Anthony.
Failed to meet up with him.
Where can we find upcoming events in LA if we're from out of town? Literally, become friends with Leo CNC Picks because he knows every event. Leo, reach out to Kev C 2002 and tell him where all the cool car shit is in LA because you know where it is. You just said upcoming.
Yep. Did he ask for dates? Yeah, did he say when he's going to be here again? The first thing that I can say the first 2 car events that I'm looking forward to in 2023 are the Moon Eyes New Year's party. It used to be Moon Eyes Christmas party. It was always in December. And it's always at Irwindale. I don't know if it still is. I know they canceled it when Irwindale sold in like 2018 and they said that was going to be the last one, but then they did a New Year's party or something else like one of the last couple years. COVID fucked it all up, but it's one of my favorite events of any year. It's just a bunch of hot rods, lowriders, customs, and I think it's like pre-72. They may have opened it up to later cars, but I doubt it. But it's like fucking dope. Have you ever been?
Then I can pretend like I was there.
Yeah,
because I'm going to be back east.
Just go. Why don't you just go?
Okay.
No, I don't know when it is. I think it's like late in January. It's like mid-January or some shit. It's not like New Year's Day. I don't even think it's like in the first couple weeks, but I don't know. I'll look it up and report back. But anyway, it's just a cool. It's like more of a lifestyle celebration than anything. Like, you know, they typically have drag racing on the 8th Mile at Irwindale, adjacent to the show. So you get a bunch of gassers and just cool random old
really?
hot rods.
So Kev, if you're
everybody's
listening, your
dressed the
car's
part.
fucking
Everybody's
perfect
like in
for
their
this.
rockabilly shit. And like, yeah, the girl.
That's still one of my
yeah,
favorite.
totally. And then there's the Grand National
Where
Roaster
is that?
Show, which is usually like
the
last weekend.
That's in Pomona?
In January.
Why did I think that was in like the Midwest?
Pomona.
Dude, I always thought that show was in like the middle of the country. That's insane.
No, man. That's the best car show of the year every year. It's like the thing that like gets me going in January every year. It's like usually a lull, there ain't shit going on, there's no racing, but then going there and seeing cars like, you know, crazy $1 million builds at debut and stuff.
Drawn Bradley asks, any advice for avoiding burnout working in the auto dealership service industry? So burnout in any industry is a legit conversation, and it's very difficult, even in doing stuff that you think might be awesome. Yes.
It's super fun. It's, you know, it becomes work, and you have responsibilities attached to even the fun events and activities that, you know, that go along with it. I'm not saying it takes all the fun out of it, but, you know, it's definitely a balance. And I don't know. I got to be honest. Like most of my friends in the industry are burnt out.
Like don't
you know,
let your PTO
it ebbs and flows.
accrue and sit and like go on vacation. If you have a job that affords you the ability to go on vacation,
so don't be like me.
Like, don't let that just sit there. It's so worth it to just get away, even if it's just a weekend, to recharge. And it's not far. You're just going camping within 50 miles of your house. Yep. You know, 20 miles or 5 miles or I don't give a shit. Just like shut your phone off. Like when you're on vacation, you're on vacation. So you're not getting the phone calls. And also, if you're in the dealership service industry, like no one's going to call you on vacation. Be like, hey man, how do we fucking, like they know they'll survive without you. That's not a slight against you. That's like a thing like that you shouldn't have to worry about. But every industry has burnout. I have people in my industry being like, hey, we just want to make sure, which is actually a really good nod towards Cox Automotive, shout out Cox Auto. My upper bosses are like, hey, we just want to make sure you're not getting burnt out, you know, because you're doing this and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's really kind of you. And so like take time for yourself is probably the best thing I could say across literally any job. It's you gotta separate, you gotta disassociate, and then when you do that, that will make it so that if you say you have a project car in the garage, if you're coming home from an end of a day, a stressful day working in the auto dealer service industry, you're not going to want to wrench on your fucking cars when you get home. But if you take some break, you take some time, maybe it'll recharge some of your love for your project cars. Just like do stuff that isn't related to what you want to do. Like I see these people, I follow a lot of mountain bike influencers, which, you know, whatever, the term is the term. It exists for a reason. And I like their videos and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And every now and then I get a split second where I'm like, oh, I should make a mountain bike video. Fuck no. I don't want to shoot video when I'm doing the thing that is me not working. So there are times I'm like, oh man, it'd be really cool to be a part of this 100%. Video shoot because I appreciate the idea of a video shoot. But at the same time, like, I just want to ride my bike. I just want to talk to other people, not about cars. I want to talk to them about fucking shock settings and drivetrains and, you know, all that, bike drivetrains. And when camping, I want to talk about, you know, my coffee maker and my fucking tent and the dope ass my aeronaut blanket, which is the raddest shit ever.
My fucking tent.
So you just have to step away from it. And I think it's so important for your mental health, your burnout. And then honestly, if you do that and you still have the burnout, no matter how old or young you are, explore something else. I mean, I know that sounds privileged to be able to say to do that. And I gotta tell you, if I were to do something, I'd be terrified of like, well, what the fuck else can I do? But you hear about someone who's 50 going back and getting a degree. Morgan Freeman didn't become a big actor until, you know, like later in life, you know, like there's always, there's plenty of time in life. If you're truly not happy, figure something else out. And I'm not a rise and grind guy, so I'm not saying like, oh, you got to do the hustle, dog. Like, fuck that lifestyle. That lifestyle is bullshit, and those people are fucking selling you snake oil. But if you can discover what makes you happy, if you have to do a shitty job for a while to get to the happy part, I don't know. It's just, but back to the original question. Take time for you. Go get a fucking massage. Go get. I don't care. I'm not. Go get a mani pedi. I'm saying that as a straight man. That is one of the greatest things you can do. Do things you don't think that would make you happy. Like, dude, hell yeah. Ron and I
take a bubble bath.
Ron and I love
the easiest thing in the world.
This is going to sound weird initially.
It's like a mini vacation every day.
Both expressed individually. Let me get how we both enjoy a bath. I don't have a bathtub in my. I have one bathtub in my house, but it's in my daughter's bathroom, and it's like a regular ass bathtub. So when I'm traveling for work, if the hotel I'm staying in has a bomb ass bathtub as a 6'3" man, I'm fucking stoked. And I'm using, and I've sent Ron pictures like, "Yo, check out this tub, dude. Check out this tub. Look at the view from this." And we're like, "Hell yeah!" So
I'm like, I'm
do
jealous.
stuff like that. Find you.
I took a 2-hour long bubble bath today.
Who appreciates
I'm
the bubble bath
about that life. Like, it honestly, like, yeah, dude.
I'm changing the title of this episode.
Set the mood lighting, light a candle,
all about
get your music right, get a drink. No, seriously, like that is like my self-care routine. It's how I detach and like, get over the stress of the day. And I got to be completely honest. Like, I definitely feel burnout for my job, but it's for different reasons than previous jobs where normally the stress level and like the pressures to sell, to create, to grow business is tremendous. And like, that's kind of always been, the key, like, indicator of my success is like growth and sales, like, tangible numbers. And, you live and die by those numbers when you're in sales. I'm not in sales anymore. So, for me, it's less about, the grind and taking care of orders and pleasing people and like customer service, which, I excelled at, but, now it's, it's just design development and making the best product that I can. And those wheels turn very slow, as far as development goes. And like, I have a team of people that I work with, and now that team is expanded. And it's like, as a designer, development specialist, which is my title, like, I work with people in, not just the designers and engineers in my team, but I have to work hand in hand with marketing to come up with a marketing plan for the launch and release of these wheels. And we have to get with the supply chain, like, team and the inventory team. Like, they've got a green light production. Like, there's so many steps and so many departments and, so many, I hate to call them bean counters, but there's so many people that, are not necessarily creatives that, I have to work with, and everything that I do has to be supported and okayed by them. I've got a sales team that, like, they tell me what they want when it comes to new product development, when it comes to new wheels. So, for me, it's like, by the time a wheel comes to market, I'm like completely forgot about it. Like, oh yeah, we did that like a year and a half ago. No joke.
That's like,
it's
it just
like,
made,
oh fuck yeah.
It just made news
that's
recently.
Cool. All right,
Edie
like,
Falco is apparently in Avatar 2, and she's like, oh, that just came out. She's like, I thought that came out years ago, and I thought it bombed. And people are like, oh my god, how does she not know? And everybody else who like works in that industry was apparently like, these actors, they work on a movie. They don't know the timetables, and they worked on it so long ago, and they just move on to the next project. They're not invested in it like the fans are. So like when a wheel hits, you're like, oh, okay, cool, finally.
Right. Yeah. Like there's a couple that I'm super excited for, and I'm just like, when is this coming? When is this coming? When is this coming? Like we any day now we'll have a new version of the American Racing Torque Thrust. That's like a modernized version strictly for modern muscles. So for, new Mustang Camaro, we didn't do C8 fitment, but just, the Mopar twins and Mustang and Camaro. And I'm super excited about that because it is a fresh modern take on the wheel, and they've tried it so many times and it's failed. And that's something that I'm super excited about because I think we nailed it.
Would it look
it's like,
good
it's
on
proper
old
fitments,
cars?
It's concave, it's modern finishes. I think it might. But that's not what it's for. Like, and it's like by doing targeted fitments,
right,
instead of doing just kind of generic fitments that, might go on anything, we're kind of taking a chance, but at the same time, it's like, all right, this is what this is intended for. I don't want to see this shit on fucking Hondas. I don't want to see it on Maximas. I don't want to see it on S10 trucks. It's like we made these wheels specifically in staggered fitments to fit these cars, and I think it looks really good, and I can't wait to see like the public reaction to it. So it's like, you motherfucker. But it's like, certain things like that, keep me excited, because that's the only like metric is, seeing sales success and seeing them out on the road. So it's like, when I see my wheels, and I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. So now it's funny because like I'll see wheels that I designed 15, 17 years ago on a car, and I'm like, holy fuck, how does that still exist? And like, sometimes you can tell that the car is like, it's had those wheels on that entire time, and like it's just an owner that preserved them and like really appreciates them. And it's like, holy fuck, like it's really hard to keep a set of wheels for that long. And even if you keep the vehicle nice, like it's just hard to maintain wheels. Like, so it's exciting, but because there's so many steps, there's so many railroads, and so many like so much bureaucracy, like I get burnt out because I'm just like, dude, like, is it even worth it? Like, I don't even fucking care. Sometimes I'm just like, fucking, like, we can't make 3 finishes. Fine, you pick one. Like, I don't even care. Like, it's like sometimes you just
chrome black
get
polished.
burnt
Fuck
out
you.
and like having to make decisions that. Right, exactly. It's just like I got to pick 2 out of 3 when like I know it's not going to succeed without all 3 finishes or all the sizes that I want to make. It's just like, we can't do 21s because tires are super expensive, and we don't really sell many 21s. Well, we don't sell many 21-inch wheels because we never made many 21-inch wheels. And like, there's a market there. Like, all these cars now come from the factory with 21s, like, a bunch of Audis, a bunch of Mercedes, BMWs. And it's like, those guys could just swap wheels. Like, if you have an AMG Mercedes and you curb, like really fuck up one of your wheels, like on a AMG GT, 4-door, for example, if you fuck up one of those wheels, like it's probably a $2,500 wheel through the dealer, right? So why not buy a set of custom wheels that fit those tires for like $3,500, $4,000? It's like refresh the look of your car, and you don't have to buy new tires. So it's like, there's a built-in market there, but it's just something that certain people in our industry or in our company are just like, oh, we don't do that. We've never done that. Like, I don't see why we would start now. Well,
right.
Are you paying attention to what is out there? Like what's coming from the factory? So, there's a lot of give and take. And for me, avoiding burnout is just being, I don't know, being understanding, being not necessarily forceful, but just understanding like, hey, everybody has their own way of doing business, and it's your job to figure out how to coexist in a workplace environment and get done what you need to get done and what's important to you. Like, stand up for that, and be an advocate for it. Be use your voice to say, here, this is why I want to do this. And if that's not respected, then that's a problem. But as long as you're capable of standing up for yourself, your ideas, the wants and needs of whoever your customer is, then typically you'll get what you want as long as you can verbalize that and, like I said, advocate for yourself. And that to me is the number one like way to avoid burnout, is to be an expert, but like just express that and make sure that everybody else understands why you do things a certain way, and learning how to work with people that are kind of stuck in their own ways, and like they do things their way for a reason also, just kind of figuring that out and meshing those styles.
T calls her 68. My neighbor Todd, who lives at the other end of the cul-de-sac. What car would you buy right now if you were in the market for a new one for you or a wife? For Jen, if we were going to replace the Mazda, I would want her to get a Kia EV6, though I don't know if we can swing it. Because EVs are expensive, but I would like her to drive an electric as the next vehicle. If I were in the market for a new vehicle, I don't know, man. I don't know what I want. What's the price range to? Is it like existing as it is now? Because there's shit I want that I can't afford. So that's why I buy used cars. I don't know
Right.
if I could find one without a dealer markup. The Corolla would be dope. The GR Corolla. Um, if I
Yeah.
otherwise, if we're talking like, all right, don't worry about the money, get a Defender 110 V8 or some shit like that. So it's a tough question to answer.
Yeah. I think if the first car that comes to mind, the first car that I'm actually considering buying or putting a deposit on is
You
the
better
Mustang
get a
Dark
custom
Horse.
plate that says
I
like
still
Katy Perry.
am really intrigued by that.
She's a song called Dark Horse
I don't
with
even ask you to explain that. I'm sure
I
that's a
think
song reference.
is 36.
I wouldn't know.
Is 36 pop?
That's not the one
Yeah,
with
they're
Juicy J,
Atlanta, right? Yes.
Is it that one? Yeah, I know she has a song with
Because
Juicy J. Is
Sloan
that it?
likes that song, and there's a line in
Okay,
there
all
where
right, I
one
know
of the
that
dudes
song.
raps about Jeffrey Dahmer, and
Mhm.
Sloan would always ask me, "Who's Jeffrey Dahmer?" Motherfucker.
God damn it. Yeah. Okay, so I do know that song. Mm-hmm. If that's the one that we're talking about, 'cause she definitely has a song with Juicy J. But Dark Horse, and if like money was no object, like I wouldn't.
Pearl Stangway.
I mean, yeah, I could think of any number of hypercars, but no, realistically,
Hell yeah. Yes.
Realistically, AMG
Booyah.
E63 S wagon.
And then just to be contrarian, since you picked that one, and we could have, if you picked the other one, I would pick the other one. I'll get the Ford Turismo, the Porsche, fucking rolling dope. All right, last IG question from I Play With Cars. What was the big Christmas toy gift that never happened? For me, it was the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. I know my answer. I never got a Power Wheels. Yeah.
Really? I can't remember if I did. I don't think I ever had a powered Power Wheels. I think I always wanted the Bigfoot one and didn't get it. But then I was 7 and my grandfather got me a go-kart, and that was it. First thing I did, so our garage, so we had a wraparound driveway. We like our house at the top of a hill, and we have a wraparound driveway. So it's 2 steep driveways that connect in the back, and we had a carport in the back and a rear-facing garage door. So when you come around the corner on the right side of the house, when you come around the corner, the garage door faced towards the carport, which was like we even have a neighbor behind us. So there's a fence, there's a yard, and then there's a carport, and then the garage opens to the back. And Christmas Day, 1987. Go outside. I don't even know what a go-kart is. I was like, what is this? Like, I wasn't asking for it. It was just what he got me. And I was just like, okay. Like, I used to sit on his lap and drive and shit, but I was like, go-kart? What is a go-kart? Like, can I drive this? Like, do I have to ride with you? Like, I didn't know what it did. And fired that thing up in the garage, put my helmet on me, sat me in it, and he was like, gas, brake, steer. And he's just like, all right, go. Fucking floored it, ran straight up the embankment. Like our neighbor's house was probably 20 feet above. Like our house was basically dug out. So there's a slope, there's a hill before the carports. First thing I do is just fucking haul ass up this fucking slope, get stuck because it's so steep and like it won't go. My grandfather has to run out there and turn the thing off, and he's like, all right, we're taking it to the street. Let's go. Like I can't trust you in the backyard with my cars and in my house and all this other shit. So, I did really well as a kid, but honestly, the aircraft carrier was the shit that I wanted that I didn't get also.
I got things that I wanted, but I didn't aim very high. Like, just some basic toys, and then like some Nintendos were the most amazing ones. Oh my God. Fucking Nintendo, Super Nintendo, blah, blah, blah. But I never got a Power Wheel. I think I wanted a Power Wheel when I was younger.
Well, what was your favorite automotive? Well, not necessarily automotive. What was like
probably
the best,
video game related stuff when I was a kid. Like I wasn't heavy into cars as a kid, to be totally honest. So I was more into like cartoons and video games. So like when we opened and we saw Nintendo 64, it was like I probably went through puberty and like was like, what's in my shorts right now? like, oh my God, Mario 64. So to give you an idea of the kid I was, it was probably video game related. That was probably the thing. Like, oh my God, well, I have F-Zero, I have Mario 64. fuck Mario Kart, and I was deadly at those games too back then. I remember back in the day.
Yeah.
Man, I used to play a lot of video games, and there was a point where this was later on, but when I guess this was probably PlayStation by this point, but when Tiger Woods, those video games started coming out, I could score like what was my low? I could score like mid to low 40s for 18 holes. That's like that means like you're hole in one-ing the par
Jesus
threes,
Christ,
you know,
dude.
like I was dead. I was sick of those. Me, my brother, and my dad would play Mario Kart when it first came out, and like, you were a baller at those if you could take the heavier carts, because those were faster carts. You just had to be way earlier on the corners. So like Bowser on Rainbow. So like, dude, take the shortcut, boom, bam. Like we used to set some times. So it was good shit. So yeah, it was probably Nintendo 64. It was probably like or Super Nintendo, whatever it was. It was like, oh my god! So that was the gnarly shit.
I love it.
And then you would go to your. I remember in California when my dad was still in the Navy before we moved back east. I had this one friend back then who had a TurboGrafx 16, and I'm like, yo, you exactly. I'm like, you are fucking rich, dude.
What the fuck is that?
You are rich. It's just you don't even know what the system is. It's gnarly shit. Yeah, playing Bonk's Adventure on TurboGrafx 16.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that's from TurboGrafx.
Wait, I remember Bonk.
I think Sega eventually owned the TurboGrafx 16, but no, the TurboGrafx 16 was like a whole. There was the Sega Genesis.
There was something else that was like a Laserdisc gaming.
There was a TurboGrafx. Then there was like a Neo.
But then was there Sega
Neo Geo? I forget what the fuck it was called, dude. There was like
what was that?
Some rich kid shit.
Yeah.
Which
Neo
I did not have. I was the poor Navy kid living down the hill with like, yo, I got normal shit. You got a TurboGrafx.
I wasn't super into video games, but I remember like strangely like my dad and my cousins and my aunt were really into video games. So it's like when my grandparents gave me video games, I couldn't play them.
My mom,
my whole family would be playing them, and like
we
get super competitive and shit.
Dr. Mario against each other. Do you remember that game? That was a weird ass game. It was like a Tetris style game, but it was like pills. It was fucking pills that you matched up, and it like disappeared the board like Tetris. And my mom and dad would sit there and fucking go in on shit. Dr. Mario, and they were both sick with it.
I love it. The one game that I do remember like falling in love with, I remember like it was Christmas '94, and I had asked for Ayrton Senna's whatever fucking F1 GP, like his Sega game. And I remember just, I could not be separated from it. 24 hours a day. I remember staying up at night, like no lights on but the Christmas tree, and like everybody's asleep, and I was just up just trying to fucking beat like whatever race it was. Like that was the only video game that I like really connected with. Felt like
one of my favorite things too.
Nobody would play me.
Still my best friend,
so it was just me.
Paul back east. His dad in their basement, they built this like reverse screen projector TV. Like talk about rich kids. He was a rich kid, like big time. So it was a big screen, but all the controls for it were behind it. So it didn't like a hanging projector. It displayed from behind. And it was a huge TV. It was like the size of a wall, where it had like a walkway built behind it to service the equipment. And we would have sleepovers, and Paul would fall asleep, and then me and my other buddy Derek would stay up, and we'd have like the video game, and we would play 1080 snowboarding, which I think was Nintendo 64. And we were playing that shit all night on this giant fucking TV, and I'd be like, "Yo, this is the life right here." And it was. That was some good times. I will see Paul in a week for New Year's Eve at his house in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Funny enough, dude. They still own that house.
I'm curious to see what that looks like.
And I think that thing is still in the basement.
Yeah.
I will, if I'm back there, I'll sneak down and be like, click, take the picture for you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I got it. Someone asked about this crazy shit.
What are you doing, bro?
Like, that hasn't worked in 15 years, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's a good way to end the podcast. Talk about like past Christmas glory. For everybody listening,
sure. Well, let me say, do you remember Mask, the cartoon?
No, I thought you were going to talk about the movie.
Masks,
With
the
elephant.
COVID masks. Is that? No. Oh, with no,
no.
Fucking
From
Jim
the '80s,
Carrey?
the
No.
dude with like elephant, with the fucked up face,
Which one?
mask, like played by Eric Stoll or whatever his name is. He's like
What?
he's all deformed. It was like a famous movie.
What? Bro, no.
I remember
Oh my God,
Mask. It was
absolutely
like
not.
the four
No.
kids.
It was an acronym. Mask.
Transformers.
It was a cartoon.
I had them. Yeah. Well, actually, the four kids
Like,
Transformers
they
were
were
GoBots.
Yeah, they were
and I had
exactly.
those too.
Yeah. Okay.
No, the Camaro, the IROC.
Exactly. No, Mask, like, see, I don't remember the IROC, but I got the F-150 because my grandfather had a bullnose F-150 like that, but it was, the fucking cab would pop up and missiles shot out of the headlights. Like,
the IROC?
That was the coolest fucking Christmas.
The IROC was the
ever.
hero car.
For me, that was my
So,
favorite shit.
it had-
I mean, not really. I feel like there was a
IROC
tractor
had-
trailer
I'm
and there was a
positive
couple other
frozen.
cars, but all I cared about was
I don't know
F-150.
if
I
you
wanted
hear
that
me.
shit to match my grandfather's
Okay.
truck, and I got
So
it.
the IROC had gull-wing doors, and
I
they were
can't-
like missiles, and the IROC would fly.
Oh, yeah?
And then there was like a robot scooter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I vaguely remember
Yeah.
that. I couldn't remember if it was Trans Am or not.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that shit tonight.
So
As soon as
for
I finish
everybody
Bad
out there
Santa, I'm halfway
listening,
through Bad Santa,
happy
so let's
holidays.
wrap this shit up.
For whatever you do celebrate, if you don't celebrate,
Happy Hanukkah.
all of it.
Merry
Everything.
Christmas.
We don't obviously discriminate
Happy
on this podcast. You be you, you be happy. And if you're alone in this holidays and you need to pick me up, drop one of us a note. We'll be happy to say happy holidays to you in person because you know what? Times are tough. People get depressed around this time of year. Crazy
Absolutely.
shit happens. We don't want that to happen to you. In 2023 is going to be a good year,
Yep.
so you should stick around and be here to see it. Be happy. I was once behind
Don't
him
worry.
in line on a plane, and we had a
Be
conversation.
happy.
And he's a very nice guy. That's a random fucking story. We'll save for another day.
Yeah.
Happy.
bet.
This is the last one of the year, guys. Happy
Okay.
2022. We'll see you in 2023. Adios.
It-